Hey, what's going on, YouTube? This is CJ. Man, we back in the flesh for the second video in a row, man. And this time it's going to be explaining a mistake I made with what's underneath the floating foam board canopy. Just a side note for anyone curious what this is floating foam board from Amazon. I kind of stitched together, however I can stitch it together. And its sole purpose is handling the glare, spread, whatever you want to call it, from the AI blade. So let me take this off. That's what we're going to focus on this video. And we're going to focus on a couple things. First one being a mistake that I discovered I had made, and that's been an ongoing mistake for at least 5 or 6 months, guys. And that major mistake is going to be underestimating the power of these lights. You know, the old saying goes, whenever you're dealing with LEDs, it's hard to really perceive the amount of power your tank's getting. You know, the brightness our eyes detect is usually, way more par than we realize. And that's exactly what happened in my case. So to help remedy the situation, I was able to reach out to a local Reef Club member, and we picked up a par meter. So it's going to be the Apogee MQ200. This is not the 500, the blue. I think the 500 has the blue on it. So this being the older one, there is a small conversion that we're going to have to do with our readings. But either way, we're going to find out just how much power I actually was pushing into the tank, and maybe a little bit more than I wanted or needed for it being a mixed reef. And we're also going to do another test for only 3 blades, because I have 4 on the system, and I know a lot of people who are interested in blades may end up going with 3. So we'll check the par with 3 as well, and then go over the spectrum and everything else that I have it set for. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. It's going to be short and sweet, and we're going to get some answers, some much needed answers on the Be Easy Reef. Let's get it. All right, first things first, let's get our access to the tank. We're going to take off the clear view lid. Those curious, I have been using the clear view lid for over a year, and this thing is still solid. Besides needing to give it a shower every now and then to wash off some salt creep. But we now have full access to the tank. And I got to tell you guys, slight heat come off of the blades. Even with them being inside the canopy, they're not hot or anything crazy like that. But I haven't seen the tank without the canopy on it so long. It's kind of weird seeing this. All right, now that we do have full access to the Be Easy Reef, let's stick his part meter in here and see where we're at currently as far as light settings. Full disclaimer, I did make small adjustments to the lights before the video because they were obviously way too high, and we'll discuss what they were at here in just a moment. So current light settings, gonna see if we're getting anything close to what I was looking for as far as par in the system, especially with it being a mixed reef. The main focus is making sure I got enough par for the SPS corals on the SPS archway, and then not too much par for everything else. And it looks like right here, smack dab in the middle of the arch, we're getting around 290 to 315, 330. It's jumping around because of the surface agitation. So we're going to call it 3 to 310 is what we're getting pre-conversion, with it being the Apogee 200 meter. And then as far as this area here on the overhang, we're getting around 150, 160, kind of jumping in that area, which is way lower than what it was before. And then over here on this side of the arch, we're getting around 140 or so. And then on the sand bed, right smack in the middle of the tank, it looks like we're getting around 130, 120. Edge of the tank, doesn't really matter because I don't have corals over here, but it's about 160. And then the zoanthids, which is the interesting part for those curious, right below the water surface, right at the top of the tank. These guys are getting around 430 to 450 par, just kind of jumping around. So this is going to be what we're getting now with the current settings, which honestly is right where I want it to be, or I originally thought I was at before making the change. Now, to be honest, the old settings I had on the blades, the lights were set to 90% maximum intensity as far as the AI glows, which is the fluorescent blades. That's going to be your bluer, purplish kind of coloration, color pop in the tank. 90% intensity, 100% on all channels. And then the grows, which has the cool whites, the royal blue, and I forgot the other kind of blue in it. But that one had a peak intensity of 80%, guys. So I had slowly walked them up to that point, thinking that, man, the tank just like it needs more light. It's not bright enough. Man, was I wrong. When I checked the par at those settings, I was getting around 500 par on the SPS arch with those current blade settings. The zoanthids were getting around 700 par, 650, 700 par. Sandbed was getting around 200 to 220. In the middle of the tank, torches and hammers and all of that was getting easily almost 300 par in the mid-level of the tank with those light settings on the blade. So, man, was I cooking the tank without knowing it. Now, the problem was not knowing how bright the lights were. When it came to adding SPS corals and adding corals to the system, you know, when you're acclimating corals to your lighting and you think your lights are really not as powerful or not as high as you think, then it tends to let you kind of skip the acclimation as long as it should be, so to speak. And that's exactly what happened. And now I'm having some consequences with some of the newer SPS I put in the tank, and they're not too happy with the immediate introduction to light. So I'm hoping that reducing the light on the blades is gonna help let these guys heal and acclimate. And honestly, looking at the tank visually, it's way dimmer than what it was, you know, my original setting. So it's kind of hard getting used to that. It looks like it's not enough light, but it truly is getting the exact amount of par that we were needing. So let's answer one of the questions that may be burning in your mind, that it was burning in my mind as well. What is the maximum power that you can get from 4 AI blades? 2 grows, 2 glows on the tank. And that's where to find out. Crank them up to 100 really quick while I got this par meter. And I'm going into Neptune Fusion. The MXM module is running the blade, so I'm just going to slide both sliders to on. And basically that should turn the lights all the way up. At least I believe it does. If it's not all the way up, it's probably 100% on the intensities that I had set. So we're gonna say this is an estimate of the maximum par from the blades at 100% power. And don't let the video recording not show the difference, because it's definitely way brighter with them 100%. I just have the exposure on the camera locked so you can't see it. But let's find out. Let's see what we can get at the water surface with the blades at 100% power. It looks like we are getting, looks like 830, 8. It's jumping around. Okay, so it depends on where I put it. The highest number I got was 860 to 870 par at the water surface. And on the zoanthids, these guys are getting around 720, 740. SPS arch with the sliders turned all the way on, and apex, this is getting around 630 to 620 or so on the archway. On this overhang, this is 380 to 400 over here. Definitely getting about the same. That's about 360 to 380 on this lower part of the arch. And then the middle of the tank on the sand bed, this is over 300 for sure. It's jumping between 310 and 330. It's jumping all over the place. So yeah, 100% power, 4 AI blades. Definitely way more power than I would need for a mixed reef tank. Now, I know a lot of you guys with SPS tanks, you're thinking 500-600 pars, no problem, all good. Let's bake the corals, let's grow them. But in my system, it's a mixed reef. Definitely way too much light for the variations of corals I have in here, and also way too much light for me trying to acclimate newer SPS to the system. So, man, I'm glad that we checked the par on these lights, because if I didn't know any better, I would have left them as high as I had them the whole time, which we're not going to do now. So I got these things kicked down, and we're gonna keep it rolling. All right, give you guys a quick par reading. This is gonna be with only 3 blades, with it being 2 glows and 1 grow. And honestly, if I only had 3, this is probably the configuration that I would go for, because it gives you the pop and just a little enough, just enough white light to give you a little daytime look. So we got them turned up. Looks like we are getting around 520 or so on the surface. I'm trying to see if I can get this par meter to catch the lights in between. SPS archway with only 3 blades, with them turned up, there's going to be around 410, 420. Sandbed, there's going to be around 210 to 220 or so. And that's with 3 blades. So middle of the tank, looking like around 210, 220. And then over here on this side, about 180 to 200. Sandbed on the edge of the tank, 170. So 3 blades on the system, honestly, would get it done, guys. I really don't need 4. Considering now that I know how much power 4 gives, 3 definitely would work. So for those that are interested, hopefully that answered that question for you. All right, last test I need to do is going to be evening hours after the cool whites go off. So it's going to be 4 blades again, just nighttime settings. All intensity is the same, and then just without the cool whites. So it looks like on the surface around the zoanthids with just blues, getting around 360 or so. SPS archway, getting around 280 to 300. This overhang around 160 or so, 140 to 160. Probably going to be the same over here. Actually a little less, around 30, 130, 140. Sandbed around the elegance, and the other torches getting around 140, 150. This is going to be nighttime settings. Almost forgot to check the par around the anemones. These guys are getting around 140 to 150 on the back side of the tank. So yeah, we're good, guys. So these are the settings that we're going to roll with. And for those curious what those settings actually are, let me whip out the Apex and give you guys a quick peek at my schedule. So let's hang out in front of the tank just for a moment. We're going to do this point and shoot style. I'm going to walk you guys through my schedule for the grows and the glows throughout the day. Now, keep in mind, I'm a guy that likes to view my tank into the late hours of the evening. So my schedule does start a little later during the morning. Now, going with the grows, they normally come on or start coming on at 9 in the morning. And it's a very quick ramp up between 9 a.m. and 9:40 a.m. And of course, once they ramp up to 9:40, then that's going to give us the blue spectrum. So they're ramping up all the way to 87% on the sky blue channel and 90% on the royal blues. And then at around 11:20 a.m., that's when we start getting into the cool whites coming on, giving us the daytime look. And the cool whites max out at around 74% on the cool white channel. And then the peak intensity for the entire day for the AI grows is only going to be 50% now, guys. Literally 50%. I had to reduce them from 80 to 50. So major reduction in lighting to hit the par that I thought I needed in the system. So they stay on, and then the colors change and start ramping back to blues at around 6 p.m. And there's a quick ramp down all the way to just pure blues between 6 and 6:05. And then it's back to just the blue channels on the grows. I'm sorry. Now, when it comes to the glows, which is going to be the color pop, those lights actually stay on all night long. Now, just a FYI for anyone running these AI blades, the lunar mode, there's a lunar function on them. It basically is just able to see your tank at night without having any par come from the lights. You can reduce the lights down to a minimum of 4% on the blades for the lunar mode to work. Anything below 4%, it just basically turns the lights off. So basically from midnight until around 9 a.m., the blades are in that lunar mode for just the glows, just to give me a little nighttime look. And then from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., they're ramping all the way up to their peak intensity, which is set to 70% now. And then I have all three channels, the UV, the royal blues, and the violet, the violet color is all maxing out at 100% on each channel. And this schedule is pretty simple. They stay exactly the same all the way up until around 11 p.m. And then they ramp down slowly to midnight back to the moon phase. So that is going to be the light settings and the schedule on the tank, guys. Now, the next question is, what about using these as standalone or primary lights? Gotta tell you guys, without a doubt, after 10 months of using them, these absolutely could be your only light on your tank. And now with the power numbers confirmed at just how much power they have and how much they can actually cook your system, then I without a doubt believe these could be a primary light on your tank. Now, I will say 3 blades definitely could get it done for a mixed reef tank. But if you're an SPS guy that really wants to hit those 500-600 par numbers, all over the tank, and 300-400 par numbers on the sand bed, then I would absolutely recommend that you get 4 with 2 grows and 2 glows, considering that the grows are the ones that actually get the par higher because they include the cool white, and that whiter light, drives your par up as well. So I would say mixed reef guy, 3 blades, without a doubt, you're good to go. SPS guy, depending on the kind of style of SPS you want to keep, or if you really care about high par, then 3 will work, but 4 would cook. So it's basically the end of the day. Blades can get it done, and hopefully, this quick impromptu point and shoot style video answered the question for you all as far as the AI blades, if you were interested, are still looking, almost a year later after their release. So we're going to keep the light settings as they are. I'm not changing a thing. We're going to keep letting things roll and keep doing what they do. So as always, as I tell you guys, if you want more content, or you're interested in like daily update stories, those kind of things, or even want to chat with CJ, very easy to reach. Come follow me on my Instagram at CJ's Aquariums. And then as far as this tank goes on YouTube, you guys know me. We're going to keep the updates rolling. And then the next style update, I'm probably going to get right back behind the camera and give you guys the normal style of, nice, crisp, edited videos. But this one is just something I wanted to get out for document's sake, just to have a video record of the blade settings and the blade par numbers on the Be Easy Reef, and just to kind of document and video log the tank as it is today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, you guys can like, comment, subscribe. You guys keep doing what y'all do. Y'all be easy and happy reefing. Peace.